1 second, sir.
Please.
Good afternoon and welcome back with a very eminent guest speaker, our guest of honor, Sri Sumit Deb, Chairman and MD, NMDC Limited. We're having a fireside chat with him. The session will be moderated by Dr. Ajitabu Rai Chaudhary, Chairperson, Economic Affairs Committee, Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Professor of Economics and former Head and Coordinator, Center for Advanced Studies, Department of Economics, Jadavpur University. The topic would be India's decade, defining the right trajectory for economic growth. Over to Dr. Rai Chaudhary, sir.
Thank you, Arnab. Well, Mr. Deb, you are really hard pressed for time. We are very thankful that you could get some time out of your very busy schedule. Arnab already sent you some questionnaire, I guess, just to initiate the discussion. I will not take much time. You are free to have your opinion, but obviously, given your experience in the mining and the metal sector, we'd like to know the prospect of this sector, especially post-COVID, and given the kind of, after COP26, what's the future of this net zero and all these things which are coming up? How are you going to tackle this in Indian context? And overall, the role metal and mineral and metal sector might play in India's recovery. So basically, your discussion, if it I guess it will revolve around this. So it's up to you now, Mr. Deb. It's all yours.
So good afternoon, Arnab and Mr. Raj Chaudhary. Good afternoon, and thank you for having me here, Mr. Sanyal. So it's a pleasure to be always be associated with the industry bodies, and it has been my effort, and from my side, I've always tried to ensure that we communicate more with the industry. So obviously, the companies such as us, and especially in the mining sector, we always have. There has always been a sort of mining is not a very good word. So to that extent, playing around with the environment. So these are things which are very important. But then, obviously, we believe that there's a lot to go. We are still a work in progress at this point of time. The mining sector in the country, the government has been very helpful in terms of policy making. What the huge amounts of constraints which were there. So slowly, the ease of doing business has improved in the country. Currently, we do around 2.5% of is what is happening, and that's our contribution to the GDP. But then, if you look at anything around us, that is what I have been always telling. If you look at anything around us, everything is coming out of minerals. You touch anything except for some areas here and there. Otherwise, everything, most of the products which around us emanate from the mining. Whether it's the metal or it comes out from the ground, or whether it is the oil sector. So most of it. So it plays a very key role in this whole build up to this economy. And I believe that the government's initiative in this direction and the way we are progressing. Post the pandemic, I would believe that definitely there's a huge lot of things which are in play. And obviously, the Honorable Prime Minister's vision of a $5 trillion economy, we will play the mining sector and the manufacturing sector will play a role going forward. If you look at currently the GDP, today we are at $2.95 trillion. Probably that was what has been, and we need to move to $5 trillion by say around 25. That's the government's. And with the current rate of growth, probably 9.5% is what has been projected in FY21. So I believe, along with agriculture, manufacturing, and services obviously will take the largest share. In the 5 trillion, probably 3 trillion will come from the service sector. So we are already currently what has been informed is we are already crossing the 3 trillion mark. So coming back to the mining sector, the mining sector has played a huge role in this whole journey, and obviously we will play a bigger role in the in this in this process. So NMDC as a company, we are in the iron ore business, so most of it, the mineral and the metal space, we are in the iron ore mining business. We previous last year the company was moving at 34, probably we were doing around 30, 33, 34 million tons. Now we are poised to go to 40 million tons, cross the 40 million mark this year, and we will do 45, almost do 45. And probably the target is, the vision of the company is to do by 2030 we should do 100 million tons. So that's the target. I mean, that's the vision we have. Coming to the mineral sector, like I mentioned, the government has always been a facilitator, has always believed that they have to be a facilitator, and to that, in that direction, whether it's on the MMDR front, huge amount of policy level initiatives have been taken. So I believe that things are moving forward. But here, if you look at the mining sector per se, I mean, there are a huge amount of stakeholders in this whole process, whether it's the environment, looking at the environment, which is a very key area thing currently, the environment, and then there's a forest, and then there is the mining policy decisions in that regard. So these are a few things. The other very, very important stakeholder has been the state. I mean, the state is a very important stakeholder. So the basic initiative, because if you look at the revenue part of it, most of the revenues go to the state. I mean, the center gets, is a very negligible part of the revenues go to the center. So it is mostly in the state, which is 80 to 90% of the revenues accrue to the state. Only in terms of probably CGST, which is there. Otherwise, if you look at the NMET part of it, that mineral exploration part of it, so that goes to the state. Otherwise, most of it accrues to the state government. So it's very important in that context that the state takes a very proactive role. Obviously, the environment, the people, the surrounding people, they have to be kept in the loop. Otherwise, mining is an activity which needs everybody's support. Otherwise, we cannot go ahead. If you are mining in most of the mining which occurs is in a little bit backward areas, and if these people are not on board. Currently, the other day I was in a consultative committee where there were a lot of people around who said that, I mean, the areas where you're mining, I mean, very backward areas, not much of development. So these are things which are issues which are very important. I mean, you have to take people on board. You have to ensure that you are able to contribute to their livelihood, add on to their livelihood, ensure that jobs are there. So these are very important aspects of, whenever a mining to start as a mining in the particular location. So this is one aspect we need to take care. The second aspect is exploration. I mean, we have not been very great in our attempts to do exploration in this country. I mean, hardly any OGP, if you look at, just minuscule in terms of the mining economies around the world, whether it's Australia, whether it's Brazil, I mean, or whether it is any South American countries. So we are nowhere around them. So that is where our key focus should be. And the government is taking a lot of initiative in this direction. And the states also have to be on board. Because obviously the state, like I said, is generating a huge amount of revenues from this. So keeping everything in concern, everything in context, we need to do a huge amount of exploration. Exploration is something which has been lacking in this country. And the government is very keen that people from abroad, we get in technologies. We need to upgrade our technologies in terms of mining. It's just not drilling and blasting, which is needed. You need to have technology initiatives. Otherwise, this whole process won't work. So, sorry. So these are things which exploration is one area which is very, very important, and we need to focus more and more on exploration. The other thing is the policy level changes which need to happen, and the government has taken initiatives in this direction. There are a lot of facilitation has happened in the process of MMDR. The whole process has become very transparent in terms of auction. auction of minerals to the highest bidder. So that's a very transparent process of allocating resources. I believe things are probably going in the right direction, and we need to move very quickly. Otherwise, the fruits of whatever we assume will accrue to the right stakeholders will not be there. Because ultimately, once you move towards, I mean, if you look at the oil sector also, or if you look at the iron ore business, probably there are competition in terms of scrap, because over a period of time, then iron ore, I mean, scrap is one aspect, and it's very environmental friendly also. Even if you look at the oil sector, I mean, renewable energy is a very key focus area. So all these, I mean, we have to move towards ultimately hydrogen. So these are things we have to move towards in that direction. So these are some thoughts which I thought I could share with you.
Thank you, Mr. Deb. Arnob, do we have time for any questions or anything? We still have something like 5, 6.
Sir, I'm just reading out 2, 3 questions that we
Okay,
have.
sure. Why don't you read out for Mr. Deb?
Just with your permission, just 2 questions I just wanted to read out. One is 3 questions. Any changes in national mineral exploration policy or immediate that you want to suggest? That is number 1. Number 2, in the earlier session we had Arun Mishra ji was talking about how Bengal can leverage in the mining areas. So if you can also share your thoughts on that. And third one is during COVID we have understand the deep meaning of being resilient, but under PSU status, how difficult the journey was to become resilient and to take desperate measures at desperate times.
So okay, so that's fine. I'll just quickly answer this question. MMDR, obviously, it's a work in progress. So we are working on easing of policy level decisions. There are a lot of activities which is happening. We are associated with the Ministry of Steel because currently we are under the Ministry of Steel. So, but then this is a policy making decision which we always involve ourselves. So these are exploration. Obviously, there are changes to be made. I mean, we need to, and they are happening. I mean, basically, we need to technologies needs to be brought in. We need to have foreign investment coming in this sector. But then the sort of mining we do in this country, I mean, if you look at the areas, like you look at Australia, I mean, huge, I mean, any exploration which is done or any mining company which they operate, I mean, there are huge areas. Here, our leases are very small. So, so that is also a very matter of issue concern. I mean, they are small lease areas, mining lease areas. And overlapping lease areas, because you need to any lease from one lease to the other lease, there has to be some sort of boundary. So you lose out on the boundary resources also. So these are things which we need to work with. We are working with the Ministry of Mines and the Ministry of Steel, trying to ensure that the optimum utilization of resources. And the second thing is post the mining operations, then what happens to the lease? I mean, we have to be concerned. I mean, once you are into doing exploration, you finish your mining activity, how you, I mean, all that activities also needs to be done. And the other thing is focus more on environment, the environmental aspects which need to be complied with in terms of. So these are policy making in terms of the environment part of it, the forest part of it, because this is a matter of very huge concern to the government also. The other is with regard to COVID. COVID obviously had an effect on us. Though last year we almost we had a growth of around 7 to 8%, in spite of the fact that there was COVID around us. COVID did impact us, but since we were operating in little remote regions, so not too many casualties which had happened. But then we have ensured, because from our perspective, work from home, these are things which are really difficult for us, since we have to be on the field, and there is a mining is an activity which needs to be on the job. So that is something which. But as a PSU, we have done quite well. We have looked after our people. There has been a lot of trauma people have gone through. So the industry as a whole has obviously had issues, but then the companies have taken a step forward, and there's a lot of handholding we have done. People around us, we need to take care of it, and it's not our own employees, it is the contractual employees, the community around us. And then under the larger perspective of the government, we have contributed to the PM Cares Fund, on a huge way. So this year also we have contributed. So we would like more of we have been involved in this whole process, and would believe that things have worked out fairly for us. We don't have a huge base in terms of our employees. We work very optimal. We see that, and we try to ensure that there's an optimum amount of manpower. So to that extent, we have done fairly well. Yes. I think that's something which we can be proud of. We've taken care of our employees, and so that was. What was the third question you were saying? Arnav, you're on mute, I think. Can't hear you.
Liner for Bengal, what is your advice?
Coming back to Bengal. Yeah, though I'm a Bengali, really we don't have too much of business in Bengal. But then Bengal has got a lot of coal. So coal probably is something which we need to do this activity. We do it very quickly. A lot of potential in Bengal. Probably we would love to do some, because now we have started some coal mining activity in Jharkhand. NMDC as a company, we've got 2 deposits in mining. We're working on the mining lease, but then we're working on coal. But Bengal has got a lot of coal deposits, so it's something which we need to do very quickly. And cash this opportunity, because I think coal has got a finite lifetime. You cannot do too much of coal. This coal business cannot last too long. 2030 is what people tell me. That's very near. But then these are things which we'll need to be working out very quickly. The states need to be a little proactive. That's something which they have been doing it, but I think this is something which you need to do very quickly, so that we get the results of the whole thing. Apart from that, I'm not too much aware of what sort of other sort of minerals exist. Coal is something which probably is something which you can work on.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We are really honored that you have joined.
It's my pleasure.
We would request Dr. Rai Chaudhary to continue.
Yes, it's metal and mining, as you said, it's a huge future. You have to tackle the environment and all this. There are a lot of concerns, and India had to fight about it in the COP26. So you have a lot of the social responsibility as well as global concerns. So you have to go through all of this, and we all want this to be a successful endeavor for future, because India cannot just withdraw from your mineral sector all of a sudden just to satisfy the global environmental needs. That's not possible. So you have to have a very balancing act to do, and we are all look forward to this, and we look at NMDC, the leading organizations in this sector. So all of us hope that in future positive things will happen without impairing the need of the, as you said, the local people, the common people, the rehabilitation process, and all of this. Thank you, Mr. Deb. It's a very precise and very pointed statement which you made. Thank you very much for your presence.
Thank you, everyone.
It's a pleasure being
sir.
here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are thankful to all the audience and all the sponsors. We'll be concluding this session, an excellent session with the chairman and MD of NMDC. We'll be back in a minute with the immediate next session. Stay tuned with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.